It's your $2 Tuesday movie critic here, and I've come with another movie. This time I am reviewing the movie Jurassic World. Now I know this, again, this movie's been out for a while, and I've seen it for a while ago, but I was trying to find the right type of old school movies to compare it to. But I'll get to that in a few minutes. First, I want to talk about Jurassic World. Now, this movie is rated PG-13. It stars Chris Pratt as Owen, and he works in close contact, and probably the closest contact, with the Jurassic World dinosaurs, mainly the Velociraptors, Beta, Charlie, and Delta, because he's Alpha. Okay, and then it also stars Bryce Dallas Howard as Claire, and Claire is like basically the Jurassic World manager, that she's probably in second in charge after the other person that also stars in this movie, Irfan, and I know I'm pronouncing that wrong, Khan, who's Masrani, and he took over for John Hammond to run Jurassic World. And of course, John Hammond has passed by this time. The Jurassic World has been going on for about 10 years now, and has been very prosperous in the way of being an amusement park for families to come to and actually see and be around the dinosaurs in different ways. Okay, and then I also want to mention the only person that was in one of the previous Jurassic Park movies, besides, of course, the dinosaurs themselves, is B.D. Wong, who was in the original Jurassic Park, and he's in Jurassic World. He wasn't in either of the other two movies, The Lost World and Jurassic Park 3. I forgot what that one was called. But he is in, again, Jurassic World, and he plays, again, Dr. Henry Wu. And he plays a very specific part to this one, kind of like the original part that he played, where he's working with, at the time he's working with Dr. Hammond to try to create these dinosaurs. He was the one that was actually really responsible for helping Dr. Hammond to create the dinosaurs. Now, initially, when they were doing it, they were trying to create real dinosaurs, but in this movie, in Jurassic World, they're trying to create the ultimate dinosaur to create more attention to Jurassic World, because, you know, a lot of the participation from people coming has been declining because now people are bored. I don't know how you could possibly get bored with being around dinosaurs, I mean live dinosaurs, especially some of the things they have. It's so cute, like the little miniature dinosaurs. They have a little petting zoo so the kids can come to it, and then they go around in these balls, and they see like the other dinosaurs just walking around, and they get to, you know, just see them roaming. How could you possibly be bored with that? I'm sorry, but that's how the movie goes. It's Claire's job to work with the staff to find a way to bring about new participation. And their idea, and I don't know who thought that was a brilliant idea, but I'm sure it wouldn't have been Professor Hammond's idea if he were still alive. But their idea is to create a new and wonderful and exciting dinosaur that people will be so interested in that they'll never probably lose interest again, because this is going to be like the ultimate dinosaur. Now, I have two problems with that. The first, that they want to create a brand new dinosaur that no one's ever heard of, even them. So they're doing an experiment with a huge creature. And then my other problem with that was there were two main types of dinosaurs: carnivores and herbivores. And of course, the carnivores were the meat eaters, and the herbivores were the non-meat eaters, or the vegetable eaters. So why would you use the stuff from a bunch of carnivores to make an ultimate carnivore? At least do with and I guess you would think, oh, the carnivores are more exciting and interesting, but they're also more hungry, and they're the ones that are more likely to eat people and other dinosaurs. So yeah, that I I know they were doctors, but that just was not a smart decision. You know, they were not thinking with their brains. They were thinking about dollar signs and, you know, making the park more prosperous, or Jurassic World, as they call it in this movie. So, and that's how it starts off. Chris Pratt, or I should say, Owen, the dinosaur whisperer, as he seems to be in this movie, at least with the 3 dinosaurs that he has been taking care of since, you know, I guess since they were baby dinosaurs. He's been taking care of them, and pretty much they listen to him. He's probably the only person, except for maybe his partner, that they listen to. His partner's Barry Hoskins, who's the boss of Owen. What he wants to do is to find out what Owen is doing so he can transfer it over to being able to control even more dinosaurs, larger dinosaurs, and, you know, make more profit by selling these dinosaurs to the army or whomever as super dinosaurs that can, you know, win wars and stuff. And I'm like, dude, these are dinosaurs, not robots. So, and that's what Owen's character is trying to let him know, that the dinosaurs are not, he's not controlling the dinosaurs. The dinosaurs and he have created this type of respect for each other, and because he is considered their alpha, they will listen to him to a certain extent. But as we find out later in the movie, alphas can be replaced. And that's basically the whole theme of this movie for me, the Darwin theory, because it's the survival of the fittest, pretty much. You know, when someone small is there, someone bigger is going to take over. Someone dies, there's someone else to take over. It's not just with the dinosaurs either. It's with the humans too. So it's just like survival of the fittest. And that's what it seems like in this whole theme of this movie. The movie was great. I watched it in 3D, IMAX 3D, which was, you know, it wasn't that great. I was kind of disappointed about that, because that's how they made a lot of the box office sales, with people going to see it in 3D. But I went to see it in IMAX 3D, like I said, and I like IMAX, and I like 3D, and I thought combining the two would make it like the ultimate viewing pleasure, which it did not. But I really still enjoyed the movie, though. I really enjoyed the movie. I mean, it's Jurassic whatever, World, Park, whatever you want to say. And, you know, Steven Spielberg directed this movie, and it was excellent. It was just as excellent as the others, and people were going to go see it no matter what, because this was the latest installment. All the others were pretty great. I mean, the critics sometimes weren't, you know, the very positive, but as far as the public is concerned, you know, it's dinosaurs roaming the earth, even though it's fictional, and they're either doing damage or they're doing good things. In this dinosaur, the main dinosaur that they're trying to catch and stuff, he's doing major damage. And he's not only doing major damage, he's also very intelligent. So, you know, where they think it's just a matter of trying to hunt down and catch him, he kind of like flips the script on them. So, yeah, it's a lot of that going on. It's a great movie. I enjoyed it so much. And they kind of like, I like the parts where they kind of show different scenes where they go back to the original, kind of make a little homage to the other 3 Jurassic Park movies. So I like that too. That was pretty cool. I didn't get everything because it's been so long since I've seen the other movies. But when I went back and looked at it later, I enjoyed it. Now, this movie, it's rated PG-13, but I would let my kids see it. It had a lot of action and adventure in there, and there were some suspenseful moments, but not really scary. My parents, judge for yourselves, watch it for yourselves, but I think it's a great family movie. I think all the Jurassic movies are family movies to watch. I think that where they want to make sure that you're aware of is the fact that, you know, there are some really scary moments in these movies that could probably, you know, make a child stay up all night and you with that child because they're afraid that some crazy loony dinosaur is going to get them. So other than that, yeah, family movie. It's good. Now, as far as, cursing and things like that, yeah, Chris Pratt's character Owen does a bit of cursing in the movie. It's nothing too bad. It's a few of the S words, so be aware of that. And it's not a lot of it going on. So, other than that, yeah, there's no anything else, no nudity. There's no, I think at one time, yeah, they kiss. Owen and Claire, they kiss, but maybe once or twice. But it's nothing that gets too sexual. So it's pretty okay. It's a great movie. I recommend it for everybody, especially if you like the other Jurassics. This just takes it up another notch like the others did. And so I think you really enjoy it. Now, the two old school movies. Like I said, I was trying to research the best old school movies to go with Jurassic World. And honestly, the only ones I could come with was the other Jurassic movies, because it's like this was a very original concept when it came out. I think that's why it did so well. Oh yeah, there were other shows like the Land of the Lost and some television shows that talked about dinosaurs, people in the world where dinosaurs lived in prehistoric times and stuff. But the dinosaurs normally just played a little backdrop, or every now and then there'd be an episode where the humans would be running from a dinosaur. But it was nothing where the dinosaurs were the main characters, like in the Jurassic movies. And I can't speak for everyone because I don't know, but I know I flipped for it because I've always loved dragons, and yeah, dinosaurs aren't as great as dragons, but yes, dinosaurs are real and prehistoric, and I thought it was so cool that this concept came up. I've never read any of the books, so I went back and watched Jurassic Park, the original, and I also watched Jurassic Park, the second one, The Lost World. Now, I actually have, and it's weird because I went back into my movie collection and I saw that I had Jurassic Park, The Lost World, the second one, on DVD, but I don't have any of the others. Not one, not three, and I'm like, what the world? So I gotta fix that because I loved them all, I really did, and I would watch them again. When Jurassic World comes out on DVD, I will be getting that because I loved it. It was such a cool movie. It's just so, it's like bringing out the kid in you, And in Jurassic Park, of course the original, John Hammond comes up with this idea to have a park where people can go back in time and see the dinosaurs. And so he gets these scientists together, and the people from the original Jurassic Park was, of course, Jeff Goldblum, that played Ian Malcolm, Laura Dern, who played Dr. Ellie Salter, Sam Neill, who played Dr. Alan Grant, and, of course, Richard Attenborough, who played John Hammond. And it's just a great movie. Now, like in all the Jurassic movies, there are kids involved. In the third installment, it was more like teenagers, 20-somethings, So it wasn't little kids in the third installment. So that was a little different. But in 1 and 2, there were kids. There was only one kid in 2 and 2 kids in 1. Did you get that? So, and then, of course, there were multitudes of kids in Jurassic World. And the movies themselves, Jurassic Park was so original and so fun to watch because, like I said, the little kid in you comes out and you're like looking at these dinosaurs come to life on the big screen. And initially when they showed it, you just see a bunch of herbivores, out and about doing their thing, and the scientists coming around and checking them out. But of course, like in all the Jurassic movies, something goes wrong. And in this case, they do. The power goes down, and the dinosaurs go wild, and the humans run from the dinosaurs. And eventually, they find their way out of the park. And they tell John Hammond, rather, that there's no way that they would allow him to open this park because it's too dangerous. And of course, John Hammond has realized that himself now. But he can't just destroy these animals. And I love that part of it. John Hammond was just not trying to make money. He really had a huge respect for this time period, for these dinosaurs. He wasn't just trying to open this park to make humans aware of that time period, but I think he was a huge animal lover. He thought this was one way that people could experience being around animals. Yeah, they were dinosaurs, but they were still animals. And I don't know. He never really necessarily explained, to my understanding, why the park was so important to him. But I believe that was him. And he did have such a huge respect and love for those dinosaurs. There was huge amounts of action in it, though. There were scary scenes. It was kind of like kept lighthearted. You saw more of the kids with Dr. Grant and Dr. Salter. You didn't really see Dr. Malcolm's character, or Dr. Malcolm, in there too much, who was played by Jeff Goldblum. He didn't do too much in one. You know, one moment you see him leading the dinosaur away, T-Rex away from the kids and the other doctors, and, you know, then you see him again at the end of the movie, pretty much. Everybody wanted there to be another one, because it was just so, the ending was so open that, of course, and at the time of this movie, there was no second installment of the book, so there was no one can really say there was going to be a second Jurassic Park. And of course, you know, I read up on that a little bit and researched it and saw that Steven Spielberg himself asked the writer to write another book. And from that book, they made a screenplay, and 4 years later came Jurassic Park 2. And that was Jurassic Park: The Lost World. And that one was, again, now this one took on a darker role. Now this is one I would not let my kids see that were 13 and younger. Because this one was maybe 13, but definitely not younger than 13, or the really young babies. Because this one was scary. It had some really creepy stuff in there. I know a couple of times I was covering my eyes on the second one. And this was the one, I think this was the only one, maybe 3, because I don't remember 3 that well. But I know, as far as 2, this was the main one that took most of the movie, or a lot of the movie, especially in the latter part, was done at night, which made it even creepier some parts. I mean, seriously, the mini dinosaurs eating that man, every time I just think about that, it creeps me out. So, and it's like this movie was mainly because what happened in the second installment was Jeff Goldblum's character, when he leaves the park, he wants to make sure that John Hammond never opens his park. So he talks to anyone that will listen and tells them the things that he saw and how they were hunted and everything. And when he goes back to the mainland, and no one believes him, because no one has seen this, of course, except the people that were in the park, and nobody is confirming anything that he's saying. So not only is Dr. Malcolm ridiculed, he loses his tenure, he's pretty much penniless, he, you know, nothing is working out for him, except that he has a rockin' girlfriend, and the character played by Julianne Moore. Love Julianne Moore in this movie. I love Julianne Moore, I tell you. But she, in this movie, she plays Dr. Sarah Harding, and the paleontologist, and she is the girlfriend of Jeff Goldblum's character, Dr. Ian Malcolm. And then there's also Vince Vaughn in this movie, and he plays Nick Van Owen, and he's the guy that works the camera and does all the pictures and stuff. And also, you know, of course, John Hammond is back in this movie, who again is played by Richard Attenborough. And you also see a little cameo of the kids from the original Jurassic World, and they really grew. They were like teenagers in the second installment, and I thought they were going to be a part of the movie, you know, when I initially saw the 2, but of course they just did their little cameo and they left. And so did Dr. you know, because you saw a lot, not a lot, but you saw more of Dr. Hammond or Professor Hammond in the first Jurassic World movie than you saw in the second one. We saw him at the beginning for a little bit, and then at the very latter part of the movie, and that was it. And again, he shows the love he has for these animals, because he at this point has realized that he cannot open this park, but because at the beginning of the movie some of those little dinosaurs, I don't even know what you call them, attacked this little girl, his son, his nephew has been able to take over the park from Professor Hammond, and has decided that he's going to take these animals and put them in cages and stuff, and have some kind of exhibit where people can come and see them in cages. And of course, Professor Hammond wants nothing to do with this. So he calls in a group of scientists along with Dr. Malcolm. And I think one of the reasons he calls in Dr. Malcolm is because he not only wants him to help, but also he wants to help Dr. Hammond, because he kind of feels responsible for his career going down the drain because he didn't support him in his theories. He didn't want people to come to this park to know what was going on. So yeah, he didn't, confirm anything that Dr. Ian had said. So yeah. And then of course these people, so they go out, and unfortunately his nephew has hired other people to come out, mercenaries, to come and capture these animals. And it's all kind of chaos and things. And then of course there's the little girl, Dr. Malcolm's daughter, that hitches a ride with him, and after a few minutes of being there, she wishes she hadn't, of course. And it's the same thing, but this one is a little bit, like I said, more sinister, because most of it takes place in the dark, and also initially the humans are the hunters in this, which was not a part of Dr. Hammond's dream at all, and that's why he's trying to stop it. And in the end, of course, humans again mess things up, and the humans again become the ones that are being hunted. So when Jurassic World comes along, everybody is chomping at the bit to see it again. So those are my reviews for today. I hope you liked them. No, I was not disappointed. I love this movie. I can't wait until it comes out on DVD so I can buy it, and then I can get my other two, and I will have the whole collection. And if they come out with another one, I'm going to see that one too, because it's just that much cool. Just that much cool. Alright, so that's all I have for today. And I hope you enjoy my reviews. If you know of any other movies that you think better compare, or not better, because no movie better compares to the Jurassic but the other Jurassic movies. But if you have that you think that could also compare to Jurassic World, go ahead and let me know at the bottom of the screen. And I'll see you next time.